Live, back again, another episode of Macro Mondays with everybody's favorite bald CEO in the entire world, Dominic Ryder, and your boy, Jay Gagan. Happy Monday, guys. We are here in Florida. Dom, last week we were in Brazil. I made it home safe. Didn't get arrested, didn't get robbed, didn't get murdered. I did go to the favela, though, at midnight, which was a crazy experience. But we're back in America, which you don't live here. I live here, and it's good to be home. How was your weekend going? How's everything going? We have an exciting show today because we have a lot to talk about, but we're also going to be giving away $250 in ETH to a couple lucky winners that are here with us today. But Dom, how are you on this beautiful Monday, January 30th?
I am good. Tell you what, I saw your Brazil experience. Seemed good. Tell you what were the results? I didn't see over the weekend of the UFC fight was out there, wasn't it?
Yep. There was two title fights between Brazilian guys. Both the guys lost. But our guy, Gilbert Burns, our friend, he won within like a minute and 20 seconds, took no damage. So he's scheduled to fight probably one of the biggest names in the UFC, Jorge Masvidal, in April 8th. It's going to be here in Florida. Dom, can we get you out to Miami or Jacksonville April 8th for the fights?
I'll tell you what, I do need to come over. I'm not sure about April the 8th. I don't manage my diary. I'll leave that to the wife, but I'll certainly check.
Certainly check. You have one of those things? You have one of those things?
I tell you what, I have a PA now for weekdays, and then weekends is just the old school PA. I like that. The wife will look after that for me. But yeah, I'll see if I can sneak off.
Well, we need to get you out here to America. We talked about that. I think it was yesterday. We were talking, anytime you want to come to California, you have a place to stay. I also want to come back to London and England to do it properly. Because I literally I was in Europe. I'm like, I'm not going to come to Europe often. I need to go meet Dom, shake his hand. We had a good time, though. We spent, like 10 hours together, explored. We took the tube. We had a lot of good conversations, but we need to do it again here pretty soon. We'll do it properly. I need to come for like a week or 2 weeks. But everybody that is joining us here, 31 people already in the stream, guys. Make sure to thumbs up that button down below because we do have a $250 ETH giveaway going live in about 30 minutes. And we are going to make it for someone that's present here in the stream. Dom, how should we do it? Should we do 5 mini giveaways? And chat, I'm going to ask you guys as well. Should we do 5 mini giveaways, one fatty giveaway of $250 in ETH, or maybe split it up into 2? How do you feel about it? And chat, also let me know. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think 5. I think 5 keeps makes it go a little further. Everybody can have a little bit.
Okay, we'll see what the chat says. Matt says, do a fatty. 2-Bit Crypto, what's up, crew? Hope your afternoon is well. Jake and Tom, what's up, 2-Bit? We have Kolaric, my guy. Benny Moon is here. The BC Army. Shout out to the BC Army. They came and spammed us last week. And let's just see what everybody said. Do a fatty, which means 1, 1, 2. EO, I don't know what that means, Daniel Volt. Oh, he said 1. 5, 1. Whatever the chat says, we are going to do. So let us know here in the comments, and we will do it. 5, share love. Buck Dragon, my guy, says 5. Okay. We shall see what we have here for everybody else.
Somebody's saying gives a birthday boy an extra chance, dropping that in there. Like those tactics.
Oh, 5 is good and gives the birthday boy an extra chance. Prince of Blocks, happy birthday, my guy. Hopefully you're having a wonderful birthday. Now, quick look at the markets here today, Dom. It's my first time actually looking at the markets since we woke up. This is not it. This is it right here. Taking a little bit of a pullback here. $1.05 trillion market cap. Bitcoin at 23,185. Let me make sure you can see my screen, and you can. 50 people here, guys. Make sure to smash the like button. Bitcoin, 23,182. Ethereum at 1584. XRP at 40 cents. Cardano at 38 cents. Polygon actually having a strong week at $1.12. Solana back up to 24.36. Polkadot at $6.29. Avalanche at $20. And Ethereum and Shiba Inu, excuse me, I called it Ethereum, at a $6.3 billion market cap. Now, before we started the stream, guys, I told Dom, I was like, we were talking a little bit about the markets, and he was telling me his thoughts on it, which we're going to get into. And I was like, you know what? I think the opposite. But also, what do I know? That's why I bring experts like you on here to talk about it. So today's January 30th, 2023. What's your take on the market? Obviously, we saw the market pump a little bit over the weekend, pull back now on Monday. What are you seeing from your trading perspective today?
It's the biggest week, probably. Well, obviously biggest week of the year so far, but it's only the first month, so it doesn't really mean much. But you've got multiple events this week. So funnily enough, you did have both Spanish, Italian, Euro, and German CPI and inflation. And funnily enough, Spain reported today, which came in hot, over expectation by a good amount. Came in at like 5.5 compared to like 4.9 expected. And then funnily enough, Germany announced, oh no, sorry, we got a problem with our data. We're going to have to delay it.
And what is
I mean, obviously, like these are all Eurozone. So Germany, no longer reporting their data this week, which should probably tell you everything that you need to know. But yeah, so now we've had Japan's inflation come in hot so far in January. We've had Australia's inflation come in hot so far in January. And we've had Spain's come in. If you go onto my Twitter, I think one of my latest retweets is a overlay of Spanish CPI versus US. And you can see that it leads it. I don't know whether the latest CPI data, which we're going to have out this week as well after the Fed.
Let me know which tweet it is right here. Is it this latest one?
Yeah, no, if you go, keep going down, it was a retweet. So there we go. So yeah, came in 0.7 above expectations. So you can see there that historically, over the past few months, Spain has led compared to the US. But basically, everything is pointing to it. So it's obviously, I think I said it even 2 weeks ago. Literally, I said, if you look at the US dollar, it's so weak, which is pulling down, pressure onto all commodities. So copper's up, gasoline's up, lumber's up. You had all the Iran stuff kicking off over the weekend, which obviously isn't going to help oil. So yeah, it's like, if it isn't this week's CPI data that it pulls through, it will be next week's. But we've got the Fed meeting on Wednesday, and that's the most important thing. Like, honestly, nothing else matters, to be honest. Like, anything in between is just noise. It's all about the FOMC on Wednesday. So that's the interest rate decision, and the market is pricing in a 99% chance of 25 basis points, which to me is insane. Because financial conditions, as in monetary policy, you have loose monetary policy, which is easing, printing money, and then you have tight monetary policy, quantitative tightening and hiking interest rates. And when you want to control inflation, you make everything more expensive by hiking interest rates. But because everyone's been front running the announcement of easing hikes, not hiking as much or cutting, the market's got ahead of itself, and that has loosened financial conditions enough on its own that it's undone every single rate hike of last year, and we're back to the financial conditions we had before all of those hikes. So that's going to seriously upset the central bank that just spent a year tightening financial conditions. It's like, to me, if they don't hike by 50 basis points on Wednesday, or they could do 25 basis points, but you always have two things. You have the actual announcement, and then 15 minutes later, you have the press conference where he does a little speech and then he takes questions. So what usually happens is that they will do the expected interest rate hike, and then when it comes in on expectation, the market rallies because it feels safe. And then he starts speaking, he opens his mouth and he just dumps the market. So that's what usually happens. That will be the same again. If he does 25, you'll see a spike, and then he'll probably open his mouth and he has to dump the market. Like, if he doesn't, the chaos that he will cause, if financial conditions get any looser, then inflation will be back in no time at all. Like, you've already got copper up 20%, lumber up 20%, house prices are rising again, oil is going up, gasoline, everything is pointing towards inflation picking up. So if he doesn't smash the markets down on Wednesday, it will be out of control by the end of the year.
Dom, what a crazy job this guy has. I'm not jealous of Jerome Powell's job at all. Like, the fact that he has to control almost the entire world's economy by what he says and what he does and his decisions that he makes. So give us an ideal situation though for a crypto investor, right? I understand you even think like if the markets rally, it's going to be bad long term, but short term, right? For a crypto investor that wants to see their investment go up, maybe they're a short term investor, they're buying ETH, they're buying Bitcoin. What's an ideal situation that we can expect on Wednesday from the FOMC meeting that will lead to a bullish rally in crypto?
Well, it's not worth it to have a bullish rally on Wednesday. Like if Jerome Powell does not slam the market back down on Wednesday, then the rally that will, loosen conditions even further will cause inflation to get out of control. The exact thing happened in the 70s, right? So in the 70s, they had the exact same rate hiking cycle to control inflation, and they hiked interest rates all the way up to 10%, and then they cut them too early because everyone started complaining. They cut them from 10% to 5%, and then inflation came back, and they had to hike interest rates to 23% just to control it.
In America?
That's in the US.
Wow.
So this is what happens this is why Jerome Powell keeps on saying we're going to hike them and keep them higher for longer. Because if he doesn't control inflation and it comes back, it's like it rises from a higher level. So it gets much more out of control and it's much harder to control. So there's no good scenario for if the markets rally on Wednesday and he doesn't do enough. Like, honestly, it will be so bad for crypto medium term. Short term, you can see a pump if he goes 25 basis points and he doesn't talk the market down. So you can see a short term pump, but mid-term, it will be an absolute disaster. As in, like, if inflation comes back, the lengths they'll have to go to control it are just not worth it. So there's no good scenario from Wednesday. In my personal opinion, you can get short-term bump, but if the stock market and the dollar keeps dropping and stocks keep going up, like inflation will be back in no time, and then they'll have to raise them so much higher. It's really not worth it. If Jerome Powell doesn't talk the market down, like he will go down in history as just like such a villain, because he will absolutely destroy the economy. He needs to destroy the economy now in order for it to not get destroyed 10 times worse in like 6 to 12 months.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's also what I want to talk about. And guys, Matt says, hate to hear it, but agree with Dom, guys. Welcome to the show, guys. Macro Mondays, one of my favorite shows because there's actual knowledge here, like a ton of knowledge coming at us. So if you are enjoying it, make sure to thumbs up that like button, guys. Gets more people in here. So that's your example of the short term, right? That's what we look. It's good short term, but we don't want that to happen. What's the best medium term on Wednesday? Like, what's best case for crypto in the medium to long term? Like, what can he do in terms of interest rates, basis points? Like, what would be best for us medium to long term? But it might hurt short term, but what would be best medium to long term?
So in my opinion, what he should do is go 50 basis points and talk a hard game. I think that he'll probably do. The problem is that everyone keeps front running the Fed pivot. And a pivot used to be cutting interest rates. Nowadays, a pivot is just slowing down. And that's because the market's got ahead of itself. Midterm, the best thing is just like, let it die. Just go too far. Every single time, like the Fed has never cut interest rates ever unless there's been some sort of financial crisis. Like there has never been an event that hasn't been an emergency to make them cut rates. Like people had this idea.
COVID, did we cut in COVID?
Yeah, cuts literally to zero.
Yeah, cut literally zero. We had the 2008 housing financial crisis. I mean, are we in a crisis right now? It's like, are we heading towards a crisis? Is there a reason to cut interest rates right now?
There's no reason to cut them at the moment. So what's mental is that so actual bonds, they predict interest rates. So right now, the bonds are predicting 2 more hikes of 25 basis points and then a cut of interest rates towards the end of the year, but the Fed has never cut interest rates unless there's an emergency. So it's like the market is pricing in an emergency in interest rates, but stocks aren't pricing it in. There seems to be people with such short-term memory. Like, we've gone through a decade of almost 0% interest rates, and now nobody remembers, the last 50 years. Like, the average interest rate for the US in the past like 60, 70 years is over 5%. But because everybody has spent 10 years at 0%, we think this is now normal. It's not. There is no reason why, if throughout all of 60 years of modern monetary theory, interest rates have been 5%, why would you cut interest rates if you don't have to? Like, if there's nothing, if something doesn't break, there is no reason to cut them. That is the only reason why interest rates would be lowered. So they need to do 50 basis points, and then they need to be very stern with the market. The problem with Jerome Powell is that he is a people pleaser. He loves to give wash, and he loves to give this, confidence to the market. So his tone is always fairly dovish, but it gets in the way, because really he's telling the market what he wants to do. He said it's going to be higher for longer. We're not going to cut interest rates this year, but the market doesn't believe him. And the problem with that is central banks and monetary policy run on credibility. And if the people no longer believe that they're the central monetary figure, the printer of money, if the printer of money is telling you we are going to tighten financial conditions and we are going to hike interest rates, the market is saying we don't believe you right now to Jerome Powell. So that is an outright challenge to the authority of a central bank that is literally in charge of money conditions. So he can't let the market's calling bullshit on him. And if he lets the market call bullshit on him, credibility is already in tatters after the COVID mess they got us into by printing all this money. He has to destroy the market on Wednesday, or he will just go down in history as the person who screwed it up and then didn't fix it and then screwed it up again in 6 months. It has to be a hammer blow.
Yeah, it's true, but it's a tough gig, right? And it's I don't feel bad for Jerome because he signed up for the gig. It's his job, but it's a tough gig to go out there and have to destroy the economy with your words. But you're doing it short term. You're destroying it short term, so that long term you'll be able to bounce back and be better, right? That's essentially what we're saying here. So
yeah, and it needs to get out of the way, because the more tiptoeing, I mean, you can see it in the market. It's up and down in this trend. And every single time it rallies, like it has now, like it did in August, it's always on this hopes of a pivot, even though Jerome Powell has said every single meeting, we are not cutting interest rates this year. But everyone keeps saying, nah, you're joking. The market seems to believe in an imaginary pivot, even though the central bank is saying we are not going to pivot. In fact, I can't remember if it was Colson. I'm trying to think of which. There was a Fed official, because you have Jerome Powell, who's the head chairman, and then you've got all of the little ones like Atlanta Fed, New York Fed. And somebody said to him, the market is betting that you will cut interest rates this year and that you won't keep your word and stay higher for longer. And he literally laughed in their face and said the market will be wrong. But nobody's listening. It's just mental. It's what I posted. Again, my pin on my Twitter is that this scenario reminds me of COVID and reminds me of January 2020. Because on January the 23rd, the market, China locked down. So second largest economy in the world went into lockdown. A new novel virus that nobody knew anything about came out and was unleashed onto the world. And nobody cared. Nobody actually cared whatsoever. And the market kept on going up for another 2 months and made 8 new all-time highs. In the time period between China locking down and the rest of the EU locking down, the market kept going up and it made 8 new all-time highs. Mental. If
Crazy.
Anybody told you that, you would say that that is a lie. If you could tell them that the world would know that there's a new virus, a new pathogen that nobody knows anything about, and that the second largest economy in the world goes into lockdown, but the market's going to go up for 2 months and make 8 new all-time highs, no one would believe you. But that happened, and it's just the same situation again. It's like insane.
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, 2020, it's like we saw the markets take like an insane dip, right? And then they just rallied to all-time highs, and now we're seeing the downfall there. Let's keep moving on. I have some different things I want to pull up. We're gonna be talking about VEMP. We're gonna be talking about Colt and Mr. Omodulus. I think today the 1 year anniversary of Colt. I think I saw that, or 1 year or something, because he's gonna be joining a Twitter Space live today.
It was 31st of Jan to the 1st of Feb was the pre-sale.
Okay, so tomorrow-ish, depending where you're at, right? It's almost the first. It's probably the first in Australia and other areas now. But quick fun fact here, guys. Everybody, if you are joining us, we see Believes Crypto, Red-Haired Rodney, ultra rare. We like that. We got Citizen Kane singing My Ultra Journey. Guys, welcome to the show. We do have a $250 ETH giveaway going out in about 20 minutes, so make sure to smash that like button. And we will be picking it from someone here in the stream. A ton of different people are spamming us. We have NGN. We have Pikash. We might have to check out one of these on the stream today. But let's get into this tweet here from Watcher Guru. Bitcoin has increased by 43% in the first month of 2023, obviously January 23, a 43% increase in Bitcoin. Was this expected, Dom? Was this priced in, or is this something that you did not expect whatsoever?
I mean, I'd say I didn't expect the massive rally, to be honest. I thought like the market is Max Payne always. Like, honestly, it will, if everyone's bearish, then it will flip everybody bullish, just like they are now. Everybody was bearish going into January, and it's just absolutely wiped the bears out. Like, some of the people who were the most bearish are now flipping and they've turned bullish. And that to me is another bearish signal, because the crowd is always wrong. The consensus is always wrong. It's like right now, the consensus in the stock market is to buy emerging markets, buy China, and to short the dollar. Funnily enough, overnight, Chinese tech drops by 4%, and the dollar is spiking today. Like, honestly, the crowd, as soon as the crowd decides that we're going up, we'll go down. And as soon as everyone thinks we're going down, we'll go up. So I was very, very surprised in the ferociousness of this rally. I didn't think it would go this high, but like I knew that there's a good chance that the market will screw bears over before letting it go down. So I think there's very much downside to come. But yeah, I was definitely surprised by the power that it came up with. I didn't expect it to get this high, but I think it will fade. I mean, yeah, like I said, I am hopeful that Jerome Powell will do the sensible thing on Wednesday. Yeah. I just don't see any other way that he can't smash everything down. But yeah, I was certainly surprised in the height it reached. I thought it would definitely, screw some bears over and cause max pain, but I didn't expect it to get as high as it did.
I can't wait for the days. Like, what were you like in July and November of 2021? Were you still ultra bearish, or were you?
No, I was like super bullish. So my market makers were like, when VEMP was like pumping, we were up like 40, 50 cents. And they were saying, oh no, I think we're going to start to top out. So I was saying, nah, we're going to $1. We're going to $1. We got to like 65 cents. But yeah, no, so I was calling higher on like VEMP and everything. And I was, fully going at it. But I mean, yeah, I'm not a perma bear. I'm just completely led by monetary policy. The literally the age-old rule is don't fight the Fed, because the Fed is literally the printer of money. Why would you try and like get in their way? And when in a bull market, everyone seems to believe that. When they're printing money, everyone says it's, up only. Now they're saying we are going to hike interest rates and we're going to send the market down. We're doing quantitative tightening. And for some reason, now everyone thinks, oh, we'll fight the Fed this time. Doesn't work like that. They have said, they've literally stated, we need to see some pain. We have not seen pain. Like, there is no fear. Like the VIX, the volatility index, the fear index hasn't even got to, no bear market has ever bottomed without the VIX being above 45. The highest we got to last year was 38 in January of last year, and up until the end of last year, and now we're at 20. So we need the fear index to more than double from where it is now. And it didn't even see higher than 28 like towards the end of last year. There is no fear in the market, and that is why the Fed is gonna
because we had just the darkest of days. It's like, of course there's less fear. Like we saw 15.5 FTX go down, everybody thought we were going to zero, and then we see a rally to what did we hit, 24,000 on Bitcoin? Like, of course there's less fear. I don't know if there's no fear. Like I think there's still a little bit of fear, but there's less fear because we saw a nice rally. But before we get any further, shout out to everybody that's in here, guys. 90 people that are watching us today. Thank you for joining me and VEMP Studios CEO Dominic Ryder. Great to have you here, guys. And a huge donation, a $50 banger, Dom. He says, NGN, shout out to My Cryptocurrency. Thank you so much for the donation. Is the new kid on the block. 85K market cap and 45K LP with under 100 holders, supported by many influencers. Available on VoltiChange. We are the network and building together for a better future in DeFi, and it's only the beginning for NGN. First off, that is a well-written caption. Like that gives you all the information. It's not like just check out NGN. It's like, well done. They're also talking about Volt influencers, VoltiChange. Thank you so much. I guess we have to check it out on the show in a little bit. I'll pull up the chart here for NGN. Have you heard about NGN, Dom? Is this your first time hearing about it?
First time hearing about NGN.
I haven't seen it either.
LP to market cap ratio looks good though. Bullish.
85K market cap is it is very, very, very early. And we also have Josh Alon in here. What's up, Josh Alon? Good to see you here, my guy. So we're going to keep on moving on, guys. We have a $250 ETH giveaway going live in a few minutes, but I want to take a second to talk about my favorite project, your favorite project, and definitely Dom's favorite project, Empire, now known as VEMP Studios. Look, you caught me.
Got you.
The Empire DAO, but I caught myself. So big news coming in over the weekend. We have a new game. We are happy to announce the development of Warring Tribes, a blockchain game for browser, iOS, and Android. This game is a huge upgrade of our previous game, The Beginning, with more strategy, better graphics, and more ways to earn. They have a Medium article, which I just read through here. I love, dude, first off, I'm a big fan of like Roman history, Greek history, all that stuff. So I love the fact that you guys build on that and play on that. But it sounds like what you guys are going to be doing here with this game is you're going to have a way for people to, is it a play to earn in some way? Because I saw that you have NFTs. Like, talk to us about this new game. What made you guys want to start it and launch this new game, Warring Tribes?
Yeah, so we've been building, we were building out a game with a gamer studio out called Frag Games, and we were working with them on a sort of Clash of Clans style build and battler for Arabian Camels and for Antara, which is one of our partners. And I'd said to them for a while that we wanted to renew our game, get better graphics out. And so they were fully aware of that, but they just didn't have the capacity at the time. And then they called me up and they said, because of the bear market, one of our partners who was building out a card game with us has gone broke. And so we have, we're halfway through this game. Would you like to take it over? Basically, reskin the game and make it branded for ourselves, which isn't any small feat because there's like over 100 characters and you have to completely redo everything. But the actual gameplay, wireframes of the coded stuff was there. It was just redoing all the artwork. So we said, yeah, definitely. So now with Penguin Carts, which was the same situation, but they were one of our investees that we took over. So with Penguin Carts, with Warring Tribes, and then with also others that we're talking to, we'll have something like 4 additional tokens worth of utility added on top of them. So those games themselves had either 1 or 2 tokens themselves to justify their existence. And we are taking all of that and just adding it on top of our own tokens utility. So the demand for our tokens should increase massively. So that is what we've been doing with all of our trading profits and all of our sort of bear market profits. is just acquiring, because a lot of people have mismanaged their funds, mismanaged their treasuries, and it gives us the opportunity to fully take advantage of that. So Warring Tribes is another one that we've taken over. It's a brand new game engine, in fact. So with these games, you find that, for example, with like a Clash of Clans style game, because it's a very it's a set game engine, so you can sort of copy and paste and redo the graphics and everything. And, you know, Clash of Clans is a tried and tested thing. It's called a build and battler. But this one is a brand new game engine, so it's not one where the game studio has worked with it before. We're creating a whole game engine, which then will be used in the future for others to mold around their own. So it's very complex, but it should be one of a kind. I'd say that in terms of like NFTs and style, you could relate it to like Gods Unchained. But yeah, it's just going to be another string to our bow. So we're going to have so much by the time, I think, so this one's due to be complete April for the actual alpha. But MVP should be out beforehand alongside a hell of a lot of others. And all that's just going to be added on top and should have some really good demand.
Yeah, you guys have been crushing it this bear market. Like, I mean, the rebranding, buying games, right? Penguin Carts looks sick. I'm excited to see that. Warring Tribes. And you've kind of like redeveloped the ecosystem. Would you mind sharing? I know we talked about it last week, but there might be some new users in here. Just how you've kind of revamped it from being, you know, the decentral, the grayscale of the metaverse to having like three new pillars, right? The trading sector, the gaming. Kind of explain that real quick for people that are listening.
Yeah, absolutely. So because my background was before crypto was in traditional finance and derivatives trading and wealth management, the predominant amount of our profits, because we don't have any tax on our token whatsoever, came from my trading and investments. So users could previously stake their tokens, well, they still can, onto our platform. We then used those to purchase metaverse lands, if it was a metaverse specific pool like Mana or Sand, or whether it was Ethereum, BNB or BUSD, we would use that to buy, you know, whatever. Basically, it was a much wider mandate. So because we are somewhat limited, if it's just Mana or Sand, we're amending those pools. So we're going to be shutting those down soon, so users can just withdraw their stake. And we're going to keep open the Ethereum strategy, BNB strategy. We're going to launch other layer ones. So essentially, it means that we can be much more diverse, and we can redistribute profits back to a smaller amount of people. And obviously, if we're closing down some of the metaverse specific pools, that means that we no longer need to be sending VEMP rewards to those. And instead, we're going to be incentivizing our games, which we're taking over now. So we're going to still be doing what we were doing in terms of metaverse token staking, but it's going to be specifically for the layer ones. And then we're still going to be using those and funds to, you know, take over games and everything like that, and still keeping VEMP Ventures, VEMP Trading, and VEMP Studios.
VEMP Ventures, VEMP Trading, VEMP Studios. And then I see you guys tweet about it for those that might still be staking, right? Some people could be staking on these metaverse tokens. Is there a timeline when they need to stop their staking and migrate their tokens off?
No. So we'll be launching a new updated UI for the staking platform. And all that's going to happen is we'll have a tab for the pools that were previously used. They're not going to go anywhere. They'll just be on a separate tab called like archive pools. And they can just go on any time and withdraw. So all that's going to happen is that we send VEMP to these pools. So we're just going to stop incentivizing them. So essentially, they'll all have some rewards in them. So there'll still be a yield up until it's used up. But once that's gone, it's just there won't be any additional VEMP. So there's no timeline. It will just be on a page basically. So just as and when, just sooner rather than later, for their own reasons, that they won't be earning rewards on them anymore. So they might want to put them somewhere else.
I like that. And Matt said, VEMP, new branding is super slick. I 100% agree, guys. We have a giveaway going live in about 12 minutes. 92 people in here, guys. You do have to hit that thumbs up button to enter the giveaway. That's the agree. We'll put our thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up button, guys. We got a giveaway going live in just a second. I would agree. What's the current price? Last time you checked, I guess I can pull it up as well. But what's the current price of VEMP?
So I think it's just under 2 cents. We were at 2 cents this morning, then the market pulled back. So I think we were at like 193 or something.
And all-time high was in the 60s of cents, guys. These guys have been building nonstop during the bear market. You've posted your balance sheet and your assets. It's like VEMP might be, correct me if I'm wrong, Don. VEMP might be one of the most undervalued tokens in all of DeFi right now. Just on what you guys are building, the team that you guys have, the community that you guys have, and then also the fact that on your guys' balance sheet, it's probably, I mean, at the time it was what, 4 or 5 times the current market cap? Like, it's insane.
Yeah, so I mean, it's rather than, I mean, lots of tokens like to obviously say like most undervalued or actually, but there's no, that's just on people's like thoughts. When we say we're undervalued, we actually post our assets so you can look at the floor price of them and you can actually see that, you know, usually you're not allowed to say stuff like that because it's not compliant. But that's usually because you're saying it and you're just, it's an opinion rather than a fact. But
Exactly.
we can actually say we are undervalued because
there's data. Like, there's data that shows like based on the market cap, based on the balance sheet, like this token is undervalued. But yeah, if you're just backing up like this meme coin's the next 1000x, it had a 20 million market cap, it's undervalued. It's like there's no data there. It's like you guys actually have the data to back it up.
Yeah, 100%. So we can actually say we're undervalued, and people can go on chain and they can actually check it. I saw a comment from Silver Fox ad. It said a question for me: what do I think of the yearly pattern of Bitcoin's history of growth and decline? 3 years constant growth, 1 year downturn is a pattern. 22 was downturn. So what we're saying. So I've mentioned this. I can't remember if it's been on this podcast before, but an interesting fact about Bitcoin cycles. So there's the theory of every 4 years, and that is and corresponds with Bitcoin's halving. Funnily enough, 2013, 2017, and 2021 also match up perfectly with the cutting of interest rates and the stimulating of the economy. So there is no, and people hate it when I say this because it seems like it's completely true as a fact, but there is no evidence that Bitcoin halvings have any impact compared to monetary policy. They could both have some impact, but at the same time, one could have zero and the other could be all of it. It just so happens that because Bitcoin is a new asset, there's only been 3 major bull runs. And those 3 major bull runs have all coincided with very loose stimulative monetary policy. So I'm not saying that Bitcoin halvings and Bitcoin cycles aren't because of the halving. They could well be, but there is no evidence to separate them yet from monetary policy. So I would love for the next bull run to be at a time like this year where we have tight conditions, because if there is, then that actually would separate it and say that it's not related. But right now, there's no evidence that separates them.
Yeah, and it's hard to feel like there is going to be a bull run this year. There's just like nothing very bullish. I don't know if because every Monday I get on the macro Mondays with Dom and it makes me feel bearish. It might be that, but it is true though. I mean, when you're looking at the actual charts, and I know it's been 3 years, and you just made a valid point. You just made a very, very valid point. But it's like crypto has over the last 12 years, Dom. It goes up for 3 years, it goes down for 1 year. It goes up for 3 years, it goes down for 1 year. It goes up for 3 years, it goes down for 1 year. And obviously, by those 3 years, it doesn't go straight up like we saw in May and July of 2021, but you hit the bottom and you slowly make your way up, and then institutional money comes in, and then you obviously more money floods and you see that parabolic spike that we saw. So it's a great question by Silver Fox, because I always talk about that. I always say, because it's true though, for the past 12 years at least in crypto, we do go up for 3, down for 1. So do you see that trend continuing, or do you think a lot of it just depends on what's happening with the global economic status?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely still see a bull run by the end of this year, because I mean, my own reasoning and my own theory is that the main reason why you have a flee to growth assets. So the whole reason why the Nasdaq has been on an absolute tear for the past 2 years, and apart from last year, and the whole reason why Bitcoin crypto has been on tear is that whenever interest rates are low, it means that growth businesses can borrow tons and tons of money, and they can spend tons and tons of money. And that's the reason why we have low interest rates and the printing of money, is so that banks are incentivized to lend to businesses, and businesses are incentivized to take that debt because they're not paying money for it. Now, debt is actually expensive again. It will cost you 4% a year. It didn't used to cost them anything. So that is why people go to growth businesses when it's a stimulating economy, because these growth businesses can take on the money and they can spend the money, which is why now they're all pulling back and they're firing people, because they realize, oh shit, we actually have to pay for this debt now. So like I said, the Fed does not cut interest rates unless there is some sort of crisis, which is why I say that I want on Wednesday for Jerome Powell to not do the 25 basis points. I want him to do the 50 basis points, and I want him to actually make the market realize that they mean business, because right now the market doesn't believe the Fed. And as long as the market is living in this fairy tale that the Fed won't do exactly what they say they do, I mean, it's not running independently. This person just isn't looking at the market, evidently, because the markets have been on an absolute tear up. So yeah, that's just wrong. So until the Fed actually makes the market believe what it's saying, we will just keep going in this cycle of the Fed says they're going to do something, the market goes, oh no, they might do it. Then everyone forgets that, goes up, and then the Fed goes back in. And it's this cycle is just rinse and repeat. The market needs to get scared, because until the market is actually scared, we will just keep going this way. The Fed needs to break something. And once the Fed breaks something, they will pivot, and then I'll be bullish again.
We'll like that. We're excited for that. Shout out to Hovey joining us here, Kenny as well. Who's Abani? Citizen Kane is in the chat. Let me get your thoughts on this. And I actually want to ask everybody in here in the audience as well, guys. And we will be doing the giveaway in about 10 minutes. Make sure to hit that like button, guys, if you're interested in playing. You don't have to play. It's free to play. But if you are, make sure to hit the thumbs up here, guys. Now, Dom, let me ask your thoughts on this. Justin, the United States has sent over $24.9 billion, billion with a B, of taxpayer money to Ukraine since the beginning of the Biden administration. Hot take: good, bad, or indifferent?
I mean, what is the end goal, really? Like, what are they trying to achieve? Because, you know, what if they actually want to? I mean, Ukraine has said that they want to take back Crimea, and Russia has said that that is a red line. They will literally use nukes before they give up Crimea. So if the goal is to actually win, they need to let Ukraine know what winning means. And winning means peace. Like, a peace deal needs to be negotiated, because otherwise we will be in this forever. It'll be a long, drawn out war that we don't want. And it will just ruin everyone's finances. So I think that there's no point sending money just to keep this war going. And I think that now the US and the EU are panicking. So what people need to remember is, in terms of like the escalation of this, like originally when this war broke out and Ukraine was asking for military aid, Germany said that we're only going to send helmets. That was the most they were willing to send at the beginning of this war. And now they're sending tanks.
Crazy.
And tanks are not defensive weapons. You don't defend with tanks. You attack with tanks. They're there to literally lead infantry in, because they are there to take damage or absorb damage. So that is for them to take back ground. So there needs to be peace at the end of the day.
Agree.
And just at the moment, yeah, there's no sign of that if they keep just sending and annoying them. But that's just the US all over, just pretend to want peace, but in reality do everything in your power to annoy the other side. oh yeah, we really just want a peaceful world. Let's just send our Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan, even though the Taiwan, it doesn't have an embassy there, and it does not even. I think 17 countries in the world recognize Taiwan. It's not a country, never has been. But why are we sending diplomats there when we don't have diplomatic relations? To piss off the Chinese is why. But then we pretend that like we're some. Again, of course, Israel and the US completely fine to bomb other countries, but other countries no. If you dare bomb any other thing, you're the worst, most evil country in the world. But it's always fine when the West bombs and kills people. It's nuts.
Definitely. We have 131 people joining us here today, guys. We will be doing the giveaway in just a bit. Someone asked where to go. There's so many comments in here, guys. Welcome, everybody. I see Crypto Rex, Jay, Dre, Stevie Crypto's here. Hovey's in the house. Steve the Canadian, nicest man in the world from Canada. Yes, it makes sense. Arnav said, yo, shout out to Arnav, guys. We will be doing the giveaway in about 5 minutes here on the show. But who was it? Crypto Rex said, are you going to be talking about Colt? Dom, what do we do every single Macro Monday? We talk about Colt every single Macro Monday. Today's a special day because at 3 p.m., which is in about 2 hours, Mr. Omidulus will be appearing on his first ever Twitter space with Harry. Might as well spill the beans. Such a English thing to say. Mr. Omidulus is joining us as a co-host for Manifesto Monday at We Are Colt DAO 1 year anniversary. I don't know what to expect, to be honest. Join us later today. I'm dialing in. I'm going to be listening in because I want to hear Mr. Omidulus speak for the first time. Has he ever joined a Twitter space to speak?
I don't know whether he's ever joined. He definitely hasn't joined one to speak. I don't know if he's definitely been on spaces before, but he's definitely not spoken on them. I don't know if he's hosted any, but he's definitely not spoken on any.
I don't know if he's speaking either. I just say that because he did put out a tweet that says, let's go ahead and see here. He put out a tweet that said, FY, I'm still just an emoji guy. So it leads me to believe he's not speaking, but I want to have hope that he's gonna hop on there. Maybe have like a, what is it called, a voice modulator where it's like,
I would love it like
my name is,
if he went on with like one of these because you've got these different options on Twitter. If you want to modulate your voice, you can do like really, really high pitched ones.
On Twitter?
Yeah, on Twitter. If you go onto the spaces, you have the option anyone can modulate their voice. I would love if you just came on with like most high pitched, like a bee. You know, you have those effects where
Yeah, that would be interesting. I didn't know that. I'm going to start modulating my voice on Twitter. But yes, that's what we just did there. We talked about Colt. We're going to be doing this giveaway in probably 3 minutes here. Talk about Colt. Let's see. Someone said, do I like Jasmine Coin? Yeah, why not? We love Jasmine Coin. Shout out to our guy, Crypto Trader 853. Silver Fox Lad in here. JDM Crypto Hunter said he is an emoji guy. Yes, he is. A few more things I want to ask you before we do this giveaway here. Actually, one more thing that I'd like to ask you before we do this giveaway here. This is for the audience as well. You can see here another post from Watcher Guru. How it started. This was in March 14, 2018. Google will ban all cryptocurrency related advertising, which they thought they were. Let's take a look at October 11th, 2022. Google selects Coinbase to take cloud payments with cryptocurrencies and will use its custody tool. I've been saying it from the beginning, mass adoption is coming eventually, right? It takes time. Most people are resistant to new ideas when they first come out. And then once you learn about the technology and what's coming, you become a little bit more bullish. What does this mean to you? I mean, literally it was 4 years in difference. Google banning all cryptocurrency ads, now accepting and selecting Coinbase to take cloud payments with cryptocurrencies.
Well, that's like the CEO of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, originally called them a scam and then started just goes back on it. I mean, it's just typical corporates. They will hate on it and dislike it until it becomes trendy, and then they'll start liking it until it gets the thing. So as soon as it starts hurting their wallets, then that's the only time that corporates take notice. And it's the same for like climate change. It's the same for everything. Like they'll only get on board when it becomes taboo for them not to, or it starts hurting their pockets. And that's why I'm so bullish on metaverse and crypto gaming, because as soon as it starts hurting game studios' pockets, yes, they will all start going into it. And it will just immediately set off a massive like gaming and metaverse bull run, because as soon as it starts hurting their pockets with if Ubisoft starts hurting and stuff and other studios like that, they will have to move into NFTs and quickly too. So that's why I'm very bullish on gaming in the metaverse, because it's just a matter of time, and it can move independently of others. Bitcoin doesn't need to be going up for Ubisoft to announce that they are launching and integrating with NFTs, for example. So I think they do have the potential to be an uncorrelated asset. Obviously, everything is affected by sentiment, but yeah, I'm very, very bullish on the same thing happening with, just like how the banks are now recognizing crypto, individual sectors and DeFi, for example. Now, I always hear this advert on Bloomberg, so I always have it on the background, and it says like Bloomberg, the home of decentralized finance. And I think, well, it's not, is it? But like, still, they like the buzzword, and they use it because that's just all corporate and the media are, is just virtue signalers. So they love to use it, and eventually, again, it will move over and it will become trendy again. Right now, gaming, everyone hates it because it was the last like meta. At the end of the last bull run, when Facebook rebranded, everyone went nuts for gaming, and so inevitably, when that happens, what goes up must come down. Yeah. But yeah, it will come back, and when it does, it will be, twice as big.
Absolutely. Steve the Canadian doing God's work in the chat as a moderator. We appreciate you, Steve. Shout out to Crypto Priest. Shout out to Taib, Apollo DAO Crypto in the house, Citizen Kane. We appreciate you the entire time. I think we're ready to do the giveaway. And then we're going to check out NGN for that $50 donation. We're going to check it out and see exactly what was said. Newsflash. Dom says the bull run is starting in 2023. Did we hear those words from you? I don't think I heard that.
I said it could do. And I agree it could do, because a bull run will start when everybody is too scared to buy. That is when the bull run starts, because there hasn't been fear yet. Yes, people have been scared by FTX. Yes, people have been scared by Luna. But I mean, actual, like, this is the end. Like the fear that you had when COVID hit and stocks were going down minus 35%. The fear COVID when Bitcoin and ETH were down 50% on the day. Like, that's actual, like, the financial system is over. We're all going to die and we're going to live in caves. That is the fear that needs to happen for a bull run to start. At that moment, when you think, oh, wow, this is serious, like we are going to like get obliterated, that is when the bull run starts. And if the Fed does their job and they don't allow monetary policy to financial conditions to loosen more than they already have done, and they smash it down quickly, then we can get this behind us quickly. But if they keep on just going on and just keep on like just, being pussyfooting around it, like it will just go on and drag on for ages. So I prefer them to put the hammer down on Wednesday, and then we can get over it. The Fed needs to break something.
Yes, they do. And shout out to Bebs in here. Crypto Priest spelling my name letter by letter. I think he's getting ready for the giveaway, because that's how we're actually going to select the giveaway winners here, guys. We can look, I could go to Twitter and do the retweet things, but I like to give it to people that are actually here in the stream. 131 people at our max. We have over 100 people here today. So guys, we're going to do it as we do it every time, which is just spam the comments. Spam the comments. We're going to be picking, we'll do 2 winners today. 125 a pop of ETH. Spam the comments, guys, as much as you can. In about 30 seconds, we're going to be selecting the first winner, just like Crypto Priest is doing it. He's spelling VAMP. There's no limit to how many comments you can do. Start VAMP. Start spamming the comments, guys, and we are going to be selecting the winner, the first winner, in 20 seconds. Dom, what a great stream that we had today. As always, Macro Mondays is growing. I think people are loving it because they're coming here. Although it's not always news you want to hear. Today was probably the most bullish episode we've had, Dom. Today was probably the most bullish episode we've had.
Christ, we must be so depressing usually.
On Mondays, I usually go into my room and put on Hello Darkness, my old friend, block out the windows and just sit there and cry after our streams. But now I'm feeling bullish. People are spamming the comments. We're going to do the first winner here in about, let's just see, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. We're going to do it random. So I'm going to close my eyes. I'm scrolling on the right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, First winner of $125 today on the Macro Monday show with Dominic Ryder and Jake Gagan goes to, boom, Bebs. Literally randomly done. Bebs, congratulations on a huge $125 win. But ladies and gentlemen, there's more. We got one more giveaway coming here. Bebs. Guys, I have one rule. I only have one rule in the show. It's bro code. Don't hook up with my girl. Second rule that I have on the show, though, is when someone wins, you just have to say congratulations. That's it. Just say congratulations in the comments. Bebs, please do me a favor. Put your Twitter handle here. That way we can send it out to you, Bebs. Congrats on winning. Or just send me a DM on Twitter at Jake Gagan. But guess what, Dom? We got one more. Bebs, drop your Twitter handle here right now, and we'll get that sent out after this.
You need to be careful. I've had this before, right? You won't imagine, like on Twitter. So we've done a competition before VEMP, and somebody has created a fake winner account just to claim somebody else's winnings. Can you imagine that?
Oh, no, that's happened to me a million times. That's why, like, that used to happen on here, but now that's why I have Bebs sending me her or his Twitter handle right away, just so I can take a picture and send it out. So Bebs send that. But yeah, I mean, dude, anything that's possible in this world, you'll see happen. It's like
like when we last gave out a VEMP, and that person's
we'll never do that again.
I haven't got it.
We'll never do that again, guys.
This person immediately sent them VEMP. They immediately sold it and said, nobody sent me my VEMP.
That's why we're doing a ETH giveaway right now, because it's like, yeah, we gave out, I think, $500 in VEMP at the bottom, and we sent the VEMP. This person dumped it, and they said, hey, Jake, I never got my VEMP. And then I was like, hey, Dom, did you ever send the VEMP? And he's like, yeah, here's the Etherscan. Here's the address. He's like, by the way, that account sold the VEMP 10 minutes ago. I was like, nice. Bebs, drop your name in here. Let's go for giveaway number 2. Bebs is our first winner. Here it is right here. See, that's how we do it, Dom. Now I actually have her real Twitter account, which is good. And let's do number 2 right now. Let me take off Bebs's. In 20 seconds, guys, we're going to scroll. Dom, give me a countdown. Just so everybody knows the spare.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh. Pepsi Aaron! That's my guy, too. Always showing up in the show. Pepsi Aaron, a big winner of $125 in ETH. Let me take a picture of that. I believe I have your Twitter account, Pepsi Aaron, because we've been connected for the
bloody fix. This is
what's that?
Bloody fix.
No, not fix. I was really scrolling randomly, guys. I have one rule, as you guys know, just to say congratulations to Bebs and Pepsi Aaron, and I think we need to do more of these, Dom. I think it's good to give back to the community. They come in here, they get some alpha, plus they get a chance to win ETH. I mean, it's like it's a pretty bullish thing here on the show. So congrats to our 2 winners. A lot of alpha. Dom, we have about 4 or 5 minutes left. We can honestly go as long as we want. 4 or 5 minutes left. But anything else that we want to chat about here today before we wrap it up?
I'm not sure. I think
we did VEMP. We did Mr. O's talking. We did a lot about the markets, inflation. We talked like that's why I love this episode. Like now we all have an idea heading into Wednesday, at least something to look forward to. And obviously this is just Dom's opinions, but he's been right 98% of the time in this crypto market. So it's like we're all hoping long-term. If you're a long-term investor, medium-term, we're hoping for 50 basis points. If you're a short-term investor, go for 25, right? But that's why this show's incredible. I love this show because I actually learn a lot. Like I don't pretend to be some sort of smart crypto trader. Like I make content. That's my job, right? But I have experts like Dom come on so that we can learn together. So anything else? I mean, should we take a look at any tokens? We talked VEMP. We talked the 3-pillar roadmap. Colt. I guess there is one more. Actually, there's one more thing I want to talk about. One more thing. Another tweet. I like to get your opinions on stuff too, because these aren't planned right here. Bank of America warns the U.S. economy will lose 175,000 jobs a month in Q1 2023. Well, Q1 2023 is already underway. We're a third of the way through. How many jobs did we lose in January? 175,000?
So actually, jobless claims are going down. Last week and the week before last, both times, and I think like almost every week running since the beginning of the year, jobless claims, they're reported every single Thursday. You get new unemployment claims and continuing unemployment claims, and both I think every single Thursday they've all come under expectation. So everyone keeps on thinking and saying, we're going to lose jobs, but it just hasn't happened yet. And that's because with COVID, obviously, everyone's houses went up, everyone's stocks went up, everyone's pensions went up, and everyone retired. And that's led to a labor shortage where, like, how many restaurants or other businesses are still looking for workers and reporting they can't get the staff?
A lot. I know a lot in America. Yeah, a lot.
And it's everywhere. And that is because people don't want to work anymore. And why would they? Because you get paid absolutely nothing to literally break your back, like waiting tables. Who wants to do that? Nobody. Like, everyone wants to work for themselves. And so you've got this paradox where all of the older people have retired because they all made an absolute killing. For example, my dad is 60 now, and he could retire. And he said he doesn't want to, because right now he is 60. He's getting paid his pension by his company whilst working full time and getting a pension from the government. And he's just able to earn all that money. And so why would he retire if he's
taking it in, dude? That's cash.
Exactly. So why would he won't leave the job until he gets told to leave, because like he'd just make the money. So you've got all these people making hand over fist because of COVID, like working from home, everyone's saving money and they're spending that. Like, it's a hard time to get work for people because you've got to pay them well, because nobody wants to work for peanuts anymore. And that's why the Fed needs to make financial conditions harder, because if people start losing their jobs, then people need to go back to work. But again, right now, everyone's making hand over fist by buying Tesla options or like trading in the stock market, because it's like a casino nowadays. It's mental.
Yeah, well, it's just easy now. Like back in the day, I don't even know what it was like because it was before my time, but I would imagine it was pretty hard to buy stocks. You had to call, like 30 years ago, you had to call in order to buy stocks. Now it's like you go on Schwab or Robinhood or Coinbase, and it's like you can trade, you can buy stocks. So just the ease of use now. But yeah, people are making money on GME and Shiba Inu, and it's absolutely insane. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the show. Citizen Kane is still congratulating Babs. She's saying thank you. Thank you, everyone. Babs, I have your Twitter account. I will get this out. I am on vacation. I guess it's not really vacation. I'm just home in Florida, but give me 24 hours to get this out. We are good for it. Dom, great stream today. Probably our best one, the most bullish one. I think of this show is going to go parabolic as more bullish news comes. We're going to change it to the Bullish Mondays with Dominic VEMP. He does not like that. He's like,
one of these days.
One of these days we will, guys. That's the show. We appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. Happy birthday to Prince of Blocks, guys. Everybody wish Prince of Blocks a happy birthday before we pop out of here. Citizen Kane, we love you, bro. Thank you for all of your support. Pepsi Aaron, congrats on winning. Hovey, congrats. Thanks for joining in, Hovey. And guys, I will be live at 3 p.m. PST on Twitter with Rodney talking some shit. So come join us on Twitter at 3 p.m. PST. Dom, your final message to the 131 people that joined us here today.
We might be in a bull market by the end of the year if the Fed does the right thing.
Let's go. You heard it here first, guys. The most bullish news. Things are looking up. If we got the Doom King saying the words, we might be in a bull market, things are looking up. If the Fed does the right thing, we're hoping for 50 basis points on Wednesdays. Pray to your God. Pray to your universe. Get
the crash out, crash first, and then we need short-term pain for long-term gain. There we go.
We like that. Thank you guys, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode. Dom, thank you so much. We'll see you next Monday.